Okay, we have Dejanay Carrington, Rachel Banham. Please address the player you'd like to ask a question to. Emily, go ahead.
What was feeling so good for you today from 3 to feel coming into the game like you had this kind of performance in you today?
I mean, gosh, I just feel like I've been waiting for this, like they know like I've been like frustrated with not like hitting my shots, but like it feels good. I'm confident. I'm ready. I stay in the gym. So like I knew my time was coming. I was wishing it was sooner. But it just felt really good to like kind of feel like myself and really get into rhythm and get to stay out there and like Nay threw me some great passes. Like they just kept feeding me and they just gave me more confidence. So that helped a lot.
DJ, go ahead.
DJ, in the first quarter, Copper had 10 points. The rest of the game she had 7. So I just want to ask you, like, what adjustments you made?
Man, for some reason, I always start slow. So I don't know. I looked up at the scoreboard and seen she had 10. Not that I couldn't feel myself getting cooked, but also I looked at the score and was like, all right, it's time to lock in. I take that stuff personally, as a person who cares about defense and like considers themselves a defensive player. You care about that kind of stuff. When I be looking up, like I told them before, like I don't look at my stats, like it's gonna come. I look at who I'm guarding and what they're doing. So once we limit her, she's a huge part of their offense and she's gonna hit some tough shots, but I have to make them tough. She can't just get straight line drives down the lane on the right side, things like that. So focus.
Maggie, go ahead.
It's been really fun. I mean, you guys know it's a special place for me because I got drafted here. So it's just like kind of coming back to where I started. I've just always loved the fans here and the organization and the people in it. And I've played with some of the girls already, but I never got a chance to play with Nay or Ty, but I knew that they were awesome or like goofy. So I was like, I'm going to fit right in. And it's been great.
Jeremy, go.
What's wrong with you?
Aside from the massive defensive effort, you had led the entire game rebounding. Talk about the extra effort on rebounding. I think you had 3 offensive boards in the third quarter.
I don't know. I just try to find a way to impact the game, and I was frustrated, especially in the first half defensively, and I wasn't able to, knock down some good looks or finish at the rim. So you can take yourself out the game or you can find another way to impact it. And so I just tried to find different ways to impact the game until, the scoring came and the defensive stops came.
Emily?
How much intention is there behind that for you trying to draw fouls and things like that?
I think that's, a large role for me is to try to get downhill, put pressure on the defense. At the rim, we have shooters. We have, DB's a shooter, Ty's a shooter. And me and Tiff, I mean, we could shoot the ball, but, our biggest strength is getting downhill. And so, we got to do what we do well so that they can do what they do well.
Maggie, go ahead.
I think for a lot of our starters especially need some rest. I'm just excited to like get a little bit of a tan, but like basketball wise, I'm really excited to get back in the gym. I'm sorry, but that really is a priority. But basketball wise, like I'm just excited to kind of get back in the gym and like work on like the little things. I don't know, like get back in and do ball handling, shooting, like just stuff that you kind of get away from during the season because there's so many games and you're tired. Yeah. Just kind of get back in the gym and just like feeling yourself again and having a good time with it.
Yeah, I mean, like she said, not a lot of it. I guess it's not super long, but the first part is definitely just gonna get rest and get the soreness and all the little ailments out. But after that, like she said, we haven't been able to practice a ton. So, and me personally, I haven't been able to like get in the gym and do a bunch of one-on-one stuff because I have just been kind of exhausted a little bit. So it's going to be nice to be able to just do some skill work and just fine tune things.
When we get back together, we're going to team bond a lot too.
Oh my gosh.
You don't need to know about that.
Kenneth, go ahead.
Like as a team? Yeah, I mean, just for myself, like continue to be in the gym. I mean, we got to stay in shape. the break is great for rest, but it's not a time to just like act like season is over. Like this is going to be really critical for a lot of teams. And I think after the break, you're going to see the teams that took their break seriously and who didn't. And we don't want to be that team that comes in, that's out of shape, that's not sharp. I think we get like 10, I don't know, we get a good chunk of time, like 2 weeks before where we're going to be together as a team, or we can really like sharpen some stuff up that we haven't had a chance to do. Because we really haven't. Like we've had like 2 practices in the last 2 months or something. So it's going to be so important. I think it's going to be really fun. I'm really like actually looking forward to it, because I think there's things we've talked about, but we just haven't been able to work on. So I'm looking forward to it. I think that you're going to see teams are going to separate themselves, and we need to be that team that separates.
And we're not going to have like AT and DB while we do that. So we rely on them heavily offensively and defensively. So being able to, all of us having to step up and work on our stuff and practice without them is going to definitely help when they come back.
Sierra.
Speaking of momentum, how do you guys keep that from today? Once again.
Yeah, man. We owe them. We do. We owe them. Like, I don't know, but we need to go into it and feel light and have fun. Like I think today we talked about like we were like laughing and having fun, and like things were going right. And we got to keep that during times of adversity too. And that's something that we talk about. We got to handle adversity better, and that's also going to separate us. So I think going to this next game, things aren't going to be great, but let's continue to have fun and play hard and talk through it, and enjoy the game while we're doing it. And I think that's going to carry the momentum over through that. Sing?
No. She's gonna do something wild.
I do something weird. I'll dance or say something stupid. You know, the usual.
I handstand. Yeah.
We'll go to Noah on Zoom. Noah, go ahead.
It feels like every night now, DeWanna Bonner is just putting in consistent scoring performances. What do you think has been kind of the credit to her longevity and just being able to continue to perform at such a high level? Like, are you seeing any habits or things that she does that just keep her being this consistent?
I mean, DB is DB. Like 5th all time. I don't even know how many people have ever played in the WNBA total, but that many people, she's number 5 all time scoring. Like that's what she does. She could probably roll out the bed and drop 20. Like she's just built like that. I'm not saying she hasn't put in the work over the last all the years she's been playing basketball in her life, but that's what she does. And I think like people gotta respect that. And sometimes, you know, this season I feel like she's reminding them like, yeah, this is what I do every single night. Whoever you put on me, this is what I do.
Thank you, Noah. Brad, go ahead on Zoom. Brad.
Yes. Hi, ladies. Can you speak to the third quarter where you held Phoenix to only 9 points and what you were doing on the floor to disrupt their rhythm?
I think in the third, we did a really good job being active. Like there was a good amount of deflections that were led to steals. I didn't really notice that when I was in during that time. I was like Liv got her hand on stuff, and then we were just transitioning out of it. And I feel like we just got a lot of rhythm out of that. Like when we're playing well on the defensive end and we're flying around, and we had a smaller lineup in, I think.
Yeah, we were just moving, rotating,
we were able just to play off each other, and like we could switch a lot. We could be really active, and then we got deflections and steals. And I feel like that just was really the biggest piece.
Yeah, we just flowed. Like sometimes if it doesn't go perfectly how we've scouted it or perfectly exactly how we said we're going to guard it, then, you know, sometimes we'll stop or we'll hesitate. But I feel like today, like she said, especially with our smaller lineup, we were just, all right, well, they got beat. Okay, I'm going to peel. You're going to go. Like we were just moving and playing off each other. And, you know, we were making them make an extra pass and an extra pass and an extra pass and shot clock violations and deflections, things like that. Like we were just active. Yeah. And we were having fun. Like, you could tell.
Yeah.
We'll go Noah on Zoom and then Maggie to finish. Noah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I never lowered my hand. I'm
okay. Thank you. Maggie, go ahead.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh. Like the impact that she's had on this team, whether she's in the game, off the court, whatever, like has been crazy. You know, there's people who she's been in the league for what, 8 years? 9 years. You know, a lot of people, you come onto a team and you're a 9-year vet and your minutes are sporadic. You can pout or you can kind of get in your feelings and stuff like, but that's not Rachel. You know, she provides the energy for us every single day. She, like I said, she's a coach basically. So she is giving us, you know, critiques, but like things to help us or things that she sees from the lens off sometimes on the bench, you can see things better than you can on the court because you have so much going on. So she's been super helpful for all of us. And every time you see Rachel, like you just have to be happy. Like, I don't know, you can't be mean to Rachel. You can't like be mad at Rachel. I don't know. Like she just got it. You got it, sister.
Aw.
Thanks, sister.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Thank you. Thanks, y'all. Hey, thanks, sister. You're so sweet.
Okay, we have head coach Stephanie White. We'll do opening statement and then go to questions.
Proud of our group. You know, this was probably the most complete game we've played all season long on both ends of the floor. You know, got production from multiple people. And, you know, just across the board, I thought we were balanced. Our attention to detail was high. You know, we didn't like how their field goal percentage in the first half, and made some adjustments in the second half and executed those. Just really proud of our group.
Questions? Emily, go ahead.
Sir, for Rachel, I mean, it's a record for a player off the bench, WNBA history. Just what is so unique about her to kind of come in with that much poise?
Well, you know, I in my other job, when Rachel was in college, I called a game. I think she scored 63 points at Northwestern. And she is and can be a volume scorer. In the W, she's mostly been a volume shooter, as opposed to always a playmaker. She hunts the right shots. She's got a quick release. Her feet are always set. She's always ready. You know, I felt like she had really, over the last few days when we've been shooting, the lift on her shot has been really good. And you know, certainly when you see the first one go in, you feel pretty good. You know, she was terrific off the bench for us. Rachel is always, I'm proud of her because she's somebody who is the ultimate teammate. You know, she's a coach on the floor. If she has a bad day, she doesn't show it. She's just somebody who is the consummate professional. And I'm happy that she was able to come in and have such a big game, and we needed it. We needed that production from her.
Any questions? Jeremy, go ahead.
In the first quarter, Copper started out super hot, and then ended up with only 17 points. What do you attribute to this slowing her down as the game progressed?
Yeah, she hit a lot of tough shots too. I felt like she hit shots over outstretched hands. You know, when Dejanay was right there. You know, I don't know. I think our attention to detail in our pick and roll defense was higher in the second half. I felt like our communication was better. I felt like our sense of urgency and execution was better. Getting into body earlier. You know, trying to get them off of their path, not allowing her to get to her spot. So I feel like just the small adjustments defensively, individually by Dejanay, but also collectively, you know, by our team and our team defense, particularly in the pick and roll, helped with that.
Maggie.
It's huge. You know, and you know, Rachel's a player who has been in and out of rotation, and to be able to stay engaged, to be able to communicate, you know, what she sees on the sideline. I think the other part of that is how much her teammates respect her to hear what she sees on the sideline. She's a really high IQ player, but she's also very, very aware. You know, aware of what's going on. You know, aware of matchups, strengths and weaknesses, aware of where we are. So everybody trusts her. So it's important, you know, she's a vital piece of what we're doing, you know, on collectively, and you see certainly with opportunity, she can come in and she can make an impact in a ball game.
Sierra, then Kenneth.
Mhm. I think that's a great point. You know, sometimes we get so uptight and playing not to lose that we make or compound mistakes, that we're hesitant, that we're not taking our open shots, that we're not, you know, making an instinctual read. We're trying to almost pre-produce everything. And while, yes, from a coaching standpoint, we can draw up plays and we can think about what the opponent might do, at the end of the day, you got to make plays. And so keeping that mentality, staying loose, I know that everybody wants it so badly, but we can't want it so badly that it causes us to be tight or causes us to suffocate one another, right? We've got to get back to playing loose and having fun, consistently. And there are going to be higher pressure moments, time and score moments. But when we are loose, when we do use our instincts, as opposed to trying to choreograph, everything, I think we're a better team. So finding the balance of making sure. I thought our pace was really, really good tonight. Not just in transition, but in the quarter court. I felt like Dejanay's decision making with the ball in her hands was really good, probably the best it's been all season. And we just need to continue to grow in that area. We want to be at our best when it comes time in September for the playoffs, and we're trending in that direction.
Kenneth, go ahead.
Mm-hmm. First of all, I'm incredibly proud of her. We've talked about it, her ability to attack this injury, in an off season by herself and prepare herself to play this season, to be ahead of schedule. It just says a lot about her as a person and as a competitor and as a worker. And where she's feeling her rhythm, her timing, her consistency is right there. Her confidence. I love the way she stepped up and knocked down that first three. That's what we want from her. We don't want her hesitating. We don't want her deferring. We want her to be a player who you have to guard at all three levels. You've got to guard everywhere on the floor. And defensively, she's just such a connector. She's a glue player for us. Obviously her numbers are outstanding. But she's always in the right place at the right time. And you always know that Breezy's got your back. And that's important for us to have.
We'll go Jeremy, Emily, then Maggie.
Dejanay led the entire game in rebounding, including 6 offensive rebounds. It seems like she always finds a way to do something on the court that's effective. You just talk about the effort that you give her.
Yeah, she's been terrific. It's Dejanay is a prime example of what a typical progression in this league is, and of someone who, when the opportunity is there for them, they take full advantage of it, and they take it and don't give it up. She's been incredibly consistent for us all season long on the defensive end of the floor. I think over the last, 3 or 4 weeks, her offensive game, she's finally found a comfort zone in her offensive game as well. But she always does so many different things. She's a great athlete, certainly. So you can see her speed, her ability to alter plays and shots on the defensive end of the floor. But her ability to get up in the air and defend and rebound for us is huge too. And, I keep asking Dejanay when she gets a defensive board to stop outletting it and just start bringing up the floor. But I think that she's a player who can impact the game in a lot of different ways. And honestly, she's been awesome. She's been great. Like, to me, she's the lead front runner for most improved player. And I think she's a front runner for defensive player of the year. But also she's still just scratching the surface in my mind. She hasn't had a healthy offseason to really work on her game. This is just her commitment to being locked in, and to taking full advantage of her opportunity.
Emily.
She got to the line a lot tonight.
Mm-hmm.
What makes her so effective at getting downhill like that for your offense?
She's quick. She's got a quick first step. She's strong, so she does a really good job of using her body. I feel like that's one of the most improved areas from a year ago, is going off of 2 feet, using her body, getting into defenders, getting herself opportunities at the foul line. I was most pleased today with her decision making. When she got to the attack and the free throw line, they were going underneath and she found the right play. That's the next step for her. But she's a dangerous player because of her speed, athleticism, her feel for the game, and her ability to get to the rim. And we've got to continue to have that from her all season long.
Maggie.
Mm-hmm. Using her length certainly to be a shot alterer. I think for Liv, it's been tough sometimes when we play those smaller teams and she's out of the rotation. I'm most pleased with her ability to stay ready, to know that when she gets opportunity to come in and impact, there was one play where she was on the backside with Rachel, and her timing on the pin down to get Rachel an open shot was perfect. It's what we've been wanting, from Liv. And I think just continuing to read those areas where she can be effective. She was terrific in terms of her efficiency around the rim, finding the open areas to dive and to cut. I think it's tough sometimes when you're playing behind Breezy, and as Breezy's gotten more minutes, Liv's minutes have gone down, but she's impactful and she's stayed ready when she gets her opportunities.
We'll finish on Zoom. Brad first, then Noah. Brad, go ahead.
Yes. Hi, Steph. Rachel and Dejanay were speaking about after the Olympic break. You'll be able to see what teams use the break to their advantage. Could you speak of what you'll be working on with the team during this big break?
Yeah, certainly player development, looking at the numbers and looking at watching film and making sure that our players, we come back, we're going to be playing teams for the second, third, fourth time. So teams are going to make adjustments. They're going to play us to our strengths. So working on player development, some of the things that the numbers show that might not be strengths, we're going to work on those individually. Collectively, we're going to continue to work on, our offensive game, our offensive reads, the ability to be a little bit more versatile offensively and some of the things that we do. Same thing on the defensive end of the floor, maybe some of our coverages that we haven't used as much. We're going to go ahead and put those in. We're going to add some things as well. And then we've got to find a way to reincorporate AT and DB when they come back from the Olympics. I mean, certainly DB is going to be there supporting AT. So we've got to make sure that we use that opportunity when they get back to reincorporate them. But I think it's going to be a great chance for us to, number one, get some rest, recover, recuperate. But number two, take a big step forward in terms of the things that we're doing and being able to be different, and not drastically different, but slightly different in things that we're doing offensively and defensively after the break.
Noah, last question.
I would just ask Dejanay about Dewana Bonner and just kind of her longevity and how she's been able to consistently perform at such a high level. And she mentioned that sometimes maybe people don't appreciate kind of what she's been able to do. Do you feel like people maybe overlook Dewana Bonner's legacy and everything she's accomplished in this league? And how would you want people to know her of?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're probably right. People do probably overlook. I mean, she's in the top 5 in scoring. She's her longevity and not just being able to play a role for this long, 15 years in the league. But she's a part of the big 3, right? And I think the last 2 years, the way that I always say she found the fountain of youth, but the efficiency and effectiveness that she's been able to have in our system has been incredible. And I think it's a tribute to the way she works. I think it's a tribute to her willingness to continue to grow as a player, not kind of being stuck in her ways, but using her versatility, using her ability, to score the ball. We've challenged her in a different way, I think, on the defensive end of the floor and from a rebounding standpoint, and she's accepted that challenge. So, I do think that she's a bit overlooked in terms of what her legacy is. And has been, but as far as being instrumental in what we've done in our 2 years here in Connecticut, she's really a centerpiece and a focal point of our success. Yep. Thank you.